Hi everyone, welcome to Facts and Two Cents. This is Petal. How are you doing? Happy Sunday. Hope you're doing great. I hope wherever you are having a fantastic day as I bring this music down. Happy to be back. Last time I was on, was having problems with my throat. Gave it a day's rest, and it's not quite 100%, but it's definitely feeling a lot better than it was the last time. So I'm happy to be back with you for a minute, even though it's not live. Um, and my little scrolly thing on the bottom is freezing up. So hence we don't have a scrolly thing at the moment. It's just sitting there. Anyway, welcome to Facts and Two Cents. As you know, we are a channel that supports the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Harry, Meghan, Archie, Baby Lily, Mama Doria, Pula, Guy, the chickens, and the whole Invictus community. And as you can probably hear in the background, our dog. I cannot get away from the barking today. I tried to hold off so she can get her barking in, but she seems to be barking and barking and barking. So hopefully it's not too loud in the background. I'm sorry, I can't get away from this dog barking at the moment. Um, but anyways, whatever you're doing, I hope it is great. And I just, there's a lot of stuff going on. I mean, our faves are quiet. We know that we're going to be seeing them tomorrow. And so I'm very excited about that. I know all of us are very excited about seeing them tomorrow. At the UN and maybe outside, but we're definitely looking forward to the feed. I unfortunately can't be there because I'll be working tomorrow. But if other squaddies are there, I hoping they can get some photos, and I mean I'd rather use their photos than the press photos. So we'll see. So I'm very excited about it. So yeah, but in spite of that, other than them being there tomorrow, they again been very quiet. So we don't know what their schedule looks like. We don't know when they're going to be here, if they're here already. I mean, it is tomorrow. I'm assuming they're here already in New York, but who knows? They've been very quiet, so that's fine. We like them quiet. They're doing their thing, and we'll see them when we see them tomorrow. Um, but other things has been going on, and Shutter Island has been being Shutter Island, but I am not going to be talking about the nonsense that's going on there. We're going to leave those horrible, vile people to their devices, and but it's what in spite of what has been happening, it has been great the last couple of days just being on Twitter, which is my social media platform of choice. Just seeing everyone just sharing all of this incredible work that Meghan has done in the past, and just so many positive things about her that that maybe we hadn't shared in a while. And it's just been great to just be able to just kind of go back in history and find things that are people sometimes try to distort facts or lie or pretend they're not there to suit a narrative, whatever. But it's been great to see that so many accounts have just been tweeting so many wonderful things going back in history and pulling stuff out from Megan's past. And what the guys love about all of this is that it's well documented. So, and we know Twitter, especially social media, is forever. It will not. You can never beat. You can never beat the stuff that's there. So, it's great to just be able to pull receipts and stuff and see, like, yeah, actually, this is the facts. So it's been wonderful to see so many accounts doing that instead of posting negative stuff or posting tabloid nonsense. So I have actually enjoyed that. So I was just thinking, because we had started this a few weeks ago, a couple of weeks ago really, so I wanted to just go back and look at some of the work Meghan did before she was a royal, before she met, even before she met Harry. And because so many times, again, some people like to assume that Meghan only started doing charity work after she met Harry, or since she was married into royal family. And it's just like, no, this is actually who she was long before she met Harry. She's just all who she is. This is who she was. She's who she's always been. And so basically they need to, Harry needed to level up. Yeah, he literally, his words, that he needed to level up when he met her because she's amazing. And so I just, so I thought we would go back and, we did before her work in Rwanda, helping, just going there, seeing communities, getting clean water, and then being able to raise funds, teach your kids about doing watercolors with the clean water that they got, and then use those very arts, took it back to Canada and did a fundraiser where they raised $15,000, and she was able to take that back to Rwanda, where they were able to use it to get clean water to benefit the whole community. So it's fantastic, the work that did. And we also talked about her work with Meghan in India. Women there who really struggle with getting sanitary products, so that way they can be able to go to school. Something as simple as your period could stop you from going to school. You don't have sanitary products. You don't have, proper bathroom facilities and all of those things that's needed. It can really hinder you from going to school. And so we saw her work with that. And also the squad jumped in and did a whole fundraiser that helped about 800 and something, I think 850 girls be able to have sanitary products so that they can stay in school and get an education, or at least go to school and get an education. And so we saw that. So I thought today, well, let's continue, since that our faves are, quiet. Let's continue to do some more. And again, actually, I'm gonna hide this little banner, not scrolling banner thing, so that way it is out of the way. Yeah, actually just do what the banner says. Subscribe if you haven't already. Subscribe and click the notification bell, and so that you know when we drop a video. You can join our channel. You can join our channel where you support us monthly. That is awesome. Thank you so much for all of you who have already. And also, please like and share the video as we try to grow, not try, but really work to grow the channel. That would be really, really awesome. So thank you so much for doing that. If you haven't, go right ahead. But yeah, so I just thought we would jump in and really, again, as I mentioned, these are some of the things that Meghan has been part of her life long before she met Harry. And so, we know like some of this is, again, top left, who work with her in India with Mina Mahila. The bottom is with One Young World. She was with that she was like a counselor, or one of those things. She was with One Young World. She also obviously top right is her work in Rwanda. And also the bottom is St. Felix House, kitchen, I think it's called St. Felix House, I think it's called in Canada, where when she was working in Suits, she would bring them food, leftover food from the set, because if you know, that stuff would just go to waste. They would just throw it out. And so whatever was at craft stable, which is what they called it on set, craft services, she would bring it to St. Felix to be able to feed people who need food. And so she just, there she is in her baseball cap, just blend in with everyone else. You wouldn't even know that it's her, and then obviously in the middle is her work with UN Women. So I just think, let's continue in the positive frame of, help, and also to helping people who may not know her work and just know her as Duchess Meghan. Well, this is Meghan before the Duchess part of her. This is who she really is, and this is what she's always been about since she was, 10 years old. So I just thought today we would look at Meghan and with her time at the USO, the United Services Organization, and they really support the U.S. military. One of the things that they do, if you're not American, you may not have heard of the Bob Hope Show. Well, Bob Hope used to work a lot with the USO, touring around to different army bases around the world, bringing especially Christmas cheer to the troops all over. I mean, YouTube Bob Hope Christmas shows, and you would see him with all those troops they especially like troops in Vietnam. And I know it's so funny. I have this sort of love-hate relationship with that show, in the sense of I understood what he was doing, and it was a great thing that he did for the, just bringing Christmas joy, because again, these men and women are out, they are serving their country, they are not home, they have sacrificed their lives, their family time, all of that stuff to be out in the battlefield, really. And so this is how the US go out and say thank you, and bring them a little bit of home to their lives on the battlefield. And so Meghan was part of this in 2024, and this is her speaking. I don't have a video of what she was saying, we just have the photos for this. But so she spent, she did a tour with them. They do it every year. They probably do it more than once a year, but this is in 2014. This is the one she did. And so it just, again, I didn't really know Meghan before she she was with Harry. So for me, this is all learning new stuff about her. I mean, at least I found out about this a while ago, about her time with the USO. But before that, I had no idea, like maybe many people, that she did this. And and this is not, it's not something out of the blue for Meghan to do. We all know that her grandfather, actually, Alvin Azor Ragland, he spent a little bit of time in the military. Actually, I found out that it was with the Coast Guard. I don't know if he was part of, if he was a part of any other branches of the military. But so this is her mom's dad, obviously. And so I found that out. I was looking to try to find out what branch of the military he was a part of, and it just said that he spent some time in the military, spent a little time in the military. It didn't say. But then I went back to this article that Omid Scobie wrote, and you guys can remember these pictures from last year. I'm sorry, from 2020, the Veterans Weekend, or Remembrance Weekend, as they call it in the UK, when the royal family refused to lay a wreath for Harry at the cenotaph. Harry and Meghan went to the National Cemetery in LA and to lay a wreath for soldiers there. And one of the things that we found out from there, and according to Omid Scobie's article, and I was like, oh, I actually didn't know that before I read this article. It says, a source close to the Sussexes tell Bazaar, it was important to the Duke and the Duchess to be able to personally recognize remembrance on their way to pay tribute to those who have served and to those who gave their lives. Poignantly, the cemetery the couple chose to visit is opposite the Veterans Affairs Greater Los Angeles Healthcare Systems building, which was used by Meghan's grandfather, Alvin Ragland, after he served in the U.S. Coast Guard. And so, I'm sure Meghan may have gone there with her grandfather, so she knows. I don't know. I thought he was buried here as well. I don't have it. I'm not 100% sure on that. But it's just I just, thought it was really interesting that this is where they chose to do it. And also, too, there are soldiers here from the Commonwealth that are buried here as well. So, so this is, again, Meghan being and doing work for the military and honoring the military, men and women in the military. It didn't just come out of nowhere. It's just, again, her grandfather is a vet. And so I just, I went in and I was like, I never really looked up, all that she went through. I knew she was a part of it, but I hadn't looked up all, what all of it entailed and what exactly they did. So I thought I'd go in and just read up on it. And the USO, I love the USO. So all of this stuff, it's like they had all of this stuff from the USO. And I love this because this was one of their articles. Meghan and Harry were USO supporters before they were engaged, before they sent their wedding invitation and chose their lemon elderflower wedding cake, before their engagement announcement or their first official public appearance together, before they were even dating. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry were both supporters of the USO and the military community. So I love that they put it out there. Saying, see, people, before they even knew each other, they were individually on their own supporting the USO. So Meghan isn't new to any of this, you know. And one of the things they did was the article went on to list their favorite things about Meghan and Harry, their favorite way of supporting the USO. And I loved it. It was just, I just thought it was a really cool thing to do. It's like they have top 4 things that Meghan and Harry did with the USO. It says Meghan Markle on the 2014 USO Chairman's Holiday Tour. That was the number one thing that they loved was Meghan on the 2014 US Holiday Tour. A first-time USO tour participant, Meghan Markle visited 5 countries, Spain, Italy, Turkey, Afghanistan, and England during her tour and entertained thousands of service members and their families. That was their number one. Or maybe I should have done from the 4 or 3. I don't know. I already started. Prince Harry, and the second one is Prince Harry attends the 2013 Warrior Games, co-sponsored by the USO. I didn't know that. I didn't know that until I read this, that they co-sponsored the 2013 games. And it says, according to the Invictus Games website, Prince Harry was so inspired by his visit to the 2013 Warrior Games that in 2014, he decided to start a similar competition for international wounded, ill, and injured servicemen and members called Invictus. And the rest is history, I can say. And that is absolutely true. Harry talks about this all the time. Invictus, that's where he was inspired to start Invictus. Number 3, Prince Harry's visit to the USO Warrior and Family Center. In 2015, Prince Harry stopped by the USO Warrior and Family Center on Fort Belvoir in Virginia. And I guess that's a picture of Harry and one of the soldiers. I think that may have been actually at the 2013 games. And number 4 of their top 4 is Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, their first official public appearance as a couple at the 2017 Invictus Games. And I love all of these things. I just thought it was fantastic. I was like, you go. They're having fun with just with their, the service that Harry and Meghan has given to the soldiers and also to the USO. So I just love this. I just thought it was cute. And I just love Meghan in this USO hat. I was like, you go, Meghan. You know what I would have loved to see her in the, in the camouflage. That would have been awesome too. I love it. I absolutely love it. And also, they've again, I got this article from the USO. There's the other article from December 12, 2014, where she actually went on tour. And this would have been so exciting. It is an incredible feeling. And as I mentioned in a couple of episodes ago, doing the play A Piece of My Heart, which is about 6 women who served in Vietnam during the war, there is nothing that compares to performing for vets. There is literally nothing that could compare. I can't say I've done a whole lot of things, some major things that maybe some people have done. But for me, there is nothing like performing for veterans. And for us, we were doing a play about Vietnam. So the vets, they knew the life, they knew what it was, they knew what the play was about. They've lived. And so it's an incredible, I can't describe into words what it feels like to perform for veterans. It is unreal, that feeling. And you just feel a part of their community. And so I can understand when I see these smiles, I'm like, yeah, I recognize these smiles. They are the most incredible group of people that you will be around. People who give up their life and sacrifice their life for their country. There's nothing like being around the people like that. And so, It's so this, this tour in 2014, it was with as you can see, Diana Agron. I think she was a girl, I think she was from, what is that show with Leah Michelle? I forgot the singing show. I tell you, I don't watch TV, so I don't know. I think it was like a singing show with Leah Michelle and some other people. Um, Not Fame. What was it? Glee. I think it was Glee. I think that's the show Diana Agron was on, and Kelly Pickler from, I want to say America's, no, one of those Simon Cowell shows. I am so bad at this television. I am horrible at television. Oh shoot. Yeah, it's either America's Got Talent or one of those shows, um that American Idol. Yeah, I think it's American Idol that she was on. I don't know if she won, but she was on one of those shows. I think it was American Idol she was on. And then there were a couple of, I think, a baseball guy and a football guy that were part of the show. And also with the joint, I think the Joint Chiefs chairman was there as well, who was part of the tour with them. And it says they toured, the tour visited 5 countries. The trip included 5 countries: Spain, Italy, Turkey, Afghanistan, and England, to entertain thousands of soldiers, sailors, airmen, marine, and their family. 4 shows took place in hangars and 1 took place in a gym, and 10,000 cupcakes sweetened the deal. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. They were being like donut dollies. I don't know if you know what donut dolly is. They would be part of the entertainment for the troop in Vietnam, and they would, go around and, with, I guess, snacks and games and all of those things to entertain troops out in the field, or when they come into, like, say, a library or whatever, the donut dollies would be there. So it's, if you don't know what a donut dolly is, definitely Google it. It's very, very interesting. These women. And also so very sad because a lot of them came back and they weren't considered military, so they didn't get the benefits that they should have got. It's a whole big mess. But anyways, as it applies to this, I guess they were served 10,000 cupcakes. I would think that would definitely sweeten the deal. And so this is a little bit a part of, the trip, and the different countries that they went to, and that I thought it was interesting. It says in Spain and Italy, it said performers loaded onto the plane and flew to Rota, Spain for the first stop of the tour. The USS Donald K. Ross, an Aegis-equipped destroyer, home ported there. They then performed there for about 2,000 American service members and their families in a hangar on the base. The next day, the troop flew to Vicenza, Italy, to soldiers of the 173rd Airborne Brigade and U.S. Army Africa. The show, held in an ultra-modern gym of the newly constructed post, also featured thousands of Georgetown cupcakes. Those cupcakes, the stars passed out to the audience. So yeah, they were like being donut dollies. They were passing out those cupcakes. And they really were there to serve the men and women, and to, really honor them. And it goes on to say, during the show, Jacob, well, I guess one of the guys on the tour, Jacob sang "I Drive Your Truck," a song he produced for country singer Lee Brice. The song is a powerful tribute to an Army Sergeant First Class Jared Monty, who received the Medal of Honor posthumously for actions in Afghanistan. The song grew out of an interview with Monty's father, Paul, who, when asked how he coped with his son's death, said he drove his truck. I'm like, wow, that is so powerful. That is so powerful that's how he was able to deal with it, by just driving his truck. And so they wrote a song based on that. Wow, that's, yeah, very deep. After that, they moved on to Turkey and Afghanistan. It says the next day, this was a quick trip, and a lot happened in the week that they traveled. It says the next day, the troop flew to Incirlik, Turkey. I don't know if that's how they say it, Incirlik, Turkey, where they met with airmen and their families who and their families who man post just a few hundred miles from the civil war in Syria. The USO performers toured the base and met with hundreds of airmen. That must have been intense, being right there on the border of Syria when a war is going on right there. That must have been very intense. And that, if that wasn't intense enough, next day was an early one for the group as they loaded for a flight to Bagram airfield in Afghanistan. The show there was in a hangar along the Bagram flight line. Ooh. And as it was going on, jets and C-130s taxied outside. Man, the sound on that thing must have been intense. Wow. So it just gives you a little bit of a what that would be like performing to the sound of C-130s taxiing outside and jets taxiing outside. That, I mean, you see one of the things, is you see every now and then those, news brief comes up that the president secretly was in Afghanistan, or when they were there, or whatever war zone they would secretly fly in, and it was always that intense feeling, that they're right there at the airbase, that they're right there by the airport. So I guess anything happens, you just hopefully jump on a jet or a plane and fly out. But I can only imagine what that must have been like. And then, performing for the troops there. And so, but anyways, so after that, the next day, again, this was day after day. Imagine flying from Spain to Italy to Turkey to Afghanistan. I mean, all sleeping is on the plane. Any luxury that you have is on the plane, because when you land, you go. And then after they left Afghanistan, they went to their last stop, which is in England. The next day was the tour last show. Airmen showed off their KC-135 Tinkers, F-15E Strike Eagles, and CV-22 Ospreys stationed at the base, and then went into the hangar where I guess they have the show. And this is Meghan and the team in one of the planes. That is such an interesting. I always like those military planes. It's so interesting how they are built. It's just, I don't know. It's just this big wide open space, and you're like, I don't know that I feel safe, but it's probably one of the safest things ever. It's always interesting to me how they are built, and it's just, anyways. But it's so wild because when I saw this picture of Meghan and this family at the top right, it reminded me of something in the bench. The photo of the family, the father coming home with the soldier coming home and greeting his son. And I don't know. I mean, I know there, as we can see at the bottom, Meghan talked about the inspiration for this picture. But do you guys know, was it ever confirmed if that was the family? I don't know. It could be another family. But when I saw that picture, it reminded me of this. And if you don't know, this is Meghan talked to NPR. It's probably one of the only interviews she did when promoting the bench right before she gave birth. To Lily. And the only other time I think she's talked about it was when she was on Ellen. So when she was on NPR, she said, talking about the book and this picture in particular, she says, one representation Meghan says she particularly wanted to include in the bench was that of a military family. Years ago, she was on a USO tour with a sergeant from Texas. He had told me a story about how he wasn't able to teach his son how to play catch because he was away, Meghan said. And so he and his son would mail this baseball back and forth to each other from Texas. Meghan says, so he and his son would email this baseball back and forth to each other from Texas to Afghanistan, and write the date on it. So, I mean, I know this baby is a little young. So if this is the family, then maybe the mom would do it, write the date or whatever. But I don't know. It just kind of reminded me of this. And I don't know if that's I don't know if that's the family or not, but it just kind of reminded me of this story. And if that's him, then it's like, who knows? But it could be somebody completely totally different. But it just reminded me when I saw her with that family, what it must have been like for, obviously when families are away, this is kind of what you get. You can't you're away from your kids growing up, you're away from all, them learning new things, and growing up away from you teaching them new things like baseball or football or something. And so I love the story of them mailing. It's sort of like they're pitching it back and forth to each other, or throwing it back and forth to each other, between Texas and Afghanistan. And I mean, it's a heartbreaking story, but it's also a heartwarming story of love will find a way, that they have the oceans and all of that between them, but love, they find a way to connect, and they find a way to be able to be there, and just enjoy a pleasure that they can share together. I just thought it was such a beautiful story. That's why this is one of my favorite, um one of my favorite pictures from the bench. And it says, looking out at my love and our beautiful boy, and here in the windows I'll have tears of joy. And it's like, oh yeah, that's the soldier coming home and greeting his greeting his baby boy. I love it. So, but anyways, just an aside from Meghan's USO tour. And actually, Sussex Royal wrote about, when they were using Sussex Royal back in 2019, because they left 2020. So back in 2019, it was part of a tribute to Veterans Day in the US. And so there was a montage of different pictures, and this is one of the pictures that she shared. It says, the post on Sussex Royal, it says, today is Remembrance Day and also Veterans Day in the United States, a day to honor those who have bravely served in the armed forces. Thank you all. Thank you to all for your service, your sacrifice, and commitment. It has been an important week to recognize those who serve and have served, as well as to acknowledge their families. And in 2014, the now Duchess of Sussex proudly went on the USO tour with Chairman and Joint Chief of Staff, visiting troops in 5 countries: Spain, Italy, Turkey, and Afghanistan, which we just looked at, and the United Kingdom, which we just looked at. During this tour, the Duchess met with service personnel and their families, as she was proud to recognize their service to the country. At the time, the Duchess says, I have always had such a profound respect for our nation's troops and the military families. I cannot thank them enough for everything they do for us. Hashtag Veterans Day, hashtag Remembrance Day. Obviously, Veterans Day in the US, and in the UK, it's called Remembrance Day. So that was her post back in 2019 on Sussex Royal. And it's so funny. The USO, they are just all up into Meghan. When Archie was born, they did a congrats to USO tour veteran. I love that they put tour veteran, the Duchess of Sussex, Meghan Markle, on the birth of her baby boy in 2014. Meghan joined the USO chairman's holiday tour, spending the holiday with deployed service members. Be the force. And as you can see the pictures here of Meghan around, with soldiers in different parts of the world, the 5 nations that they visited. I love these pictures. I especially love the one on the left with her USO hat. I also love the one on the right. The whole picture is one with her with the helmet on. So I absolutely love that. And I love that they remembered and they celebrated Archie's birth. I mean, everybody on earth celebrated Archie's birth, but but if you go, and I'm going to put links on the show notes, but if you go on on YouTube, there are quite a few videos there that you can see. This is one of them, that you can see the different aspects of, mostly they're performing and being with the troops there at different points. And the Meghan again, we don't have, I didn't see a video as to what she was saying, but and what she was doing with the two guys, but there she is. This is all part of the tour. This was actually all also in the video of her, and her taking photos with one of the airmen. And this is a part of, I think they were, this is a part of, again, of the video, I think that's the Joint Chiefs Chairman, actually, there. Oh yeah, and this is the other people that I couldn't remember, and it would be sad to do this and not say their names, but country music artist Kelly Pickler, I think that's her in the blonde hair. Retired Chicago Bears middle linebacker Brian Urlicher. I would assume that's the gentleman in the winter jacket, and then actress Diana Agron. Oh wait, I think that that might be the one in the back, I guess. Oh wait, Diana Agron is the one on the far left. That's to tell you, who they are. And yeah, and the others. And I think General Dempsey, I think, is the gentleman with the mic, and Meghan obviously in the middle there. And the gentleman in the baseball shirt, the Washington National, he is a pitcher, Doug Fister. And so this was all a part of them singing White Christmas. I think this was on their their final tour, their final tour stop, which was in the UK. So this was them in the UK singing White Christmas with the troops. So, but it doesn't, the video, you can watch the video on YouTube. I'll put the link so you can see it. Let's see. And yeah, and it's so funny just how, again, the USO is all up in things. And when, Harry and Meghan got engaged, they posted this, this thing on Facebook. Congratulations to the USO tour veteran Meghan Markle on her engagement to Prince Harry in 2014. Meghan joined the USO chairman of the Joint Chiefs and the others on the tour. So it was great that they were celebrating it, and I love these pictures. Again, there is nothing like performing or just being among a group of men and women who have dedicated their life to service. The most amazing people, give you such a different perspective on life. And I know a lot of you who may have vets in your family, yes, they have issues. There are issues, especially if they've served and come back. They come back with stuff. But they are incredible men and women. And it's, again, from personal experience performing for vets, it is an amazing experience. And this is, I love the jet, I love the plane, the United States of America. Is that like Air Force 2 or something? I know Air Force 1 is for the president, or but it's one of the United States official planes, I guess. But I just love them being, I wonder what inside must look like. That's just, up on the red carpet steps I always look at. But it's like, I just only imagine what inside must look like a hotel or something. I don't know. I'm just my imagination of what it would be like. But yeah, I that picture on the left always gets me, man. That is just, ooh. And yeah, that's one of the hangars, I guess, where they performed. And so I absolutely love this. And this is also, I love the middle picture as well with Meghan in the hat, the helmet. I just I love it. And so but yeah, this is the Facebook post from the USO, just congratulating her and her engagement to Prince Harry. And so I just, for me, I love this because it's such an opportunity, for her to just give back. A lot of people have done these tours for the US. So again, if go to YouTube and you will see, especially Bob Hope and now a lot more other celebrities and stuff do it. But it is it's jarring because when you look at it, especially Bob Hope, you realize that most of the people there are kids. It's like you look at their young faces and you realize that most of those kids that went to war, some of them don't physically come back, and two, if they physically come back, a lot of them don't mentally come back. And the person who you send, the kid you sent to war, is not who comes back. they don't come back whole. And so it could be very jarring and upsetting. And I think it dawned on me when I was working on A Piece of My Heart, because that was part of my research, was researching those USA tours, because that was part of our show. And it is the most jarring thing when you realize that, and you look at the young faces, and they are having a great time, because they are, a lot of them, they are what they're called grunts. They are out in the field full time, and they come back in, and that's like their one pleasure and time. So you can't begrudge them any of that. That's their one time to feel like human, to be, to feel like home, to feel part of home. And that's why they did the tours. And so I appreciate what they did in that. But then again, when I look at the faces and realize, like, we send children, this country send kids to do that. And when you're part of that, when you're, when that, basically trained in that way, that messes you up. And that really, really messes you up. And so, and especially, a lot of those kids at that time came back to a country, especially in Vietnam, they came back to a country that didn't want them. And so they came back to being called, baby killers, their country, they're called murderers. It was horrendous what they came back to, after giving their life and sacrificing their life for their country, and, being sent to do something that, their country sent them to do it. And they served their country, but then they came back to that. So that was the Bob Hope. That was one of the reasons I have such, mixed feelings with watching Bob Hope show, because I know what happens after the Bob Hope show, but it's a little bit different situation, in that veterans are treated so much better. They have so much more available to them than what was available to Vietnam vets. They have so much more support now. Not that it's great support, not that it's all, and it's the amount of support they need, but it's so much better than the support that were given to Vietnam vets, especially women. To this day, they still don't know how many women served in Vietnam, because what was happening in Vietnam at the time was they didn't have a male female. They only had an M. So they all had to check the M. So therefore, there's never been an official count for the amount of women who served in Vietnam during the war. So this group of the veterans, this group of men and women who Meghan performed for, coming home was a better experience for them. Is it everything it's supposed to be? No. Do the VA still, are they as up on things as they absolutely should? No, there's still issues there. There's still issues for vets, but compared to where they were back then, it's a whole, and now, like, the government, the president, as we saw with Invictus, they are so much more about taking care of their vets. They are so much more clued in. And, since with especially President Obama came into office, the focus have been so much more on making sure that vets are taken care of, making sure our military servicemen and women are taken care of. And so this was all part of this, even though this was in 2014, it's ongoing. The USO is always doing these tours, but I am just happy that the US Meghan was able to be part of this. Again, she did this way before, 2 years before she met Harry. So and so this was been her heart. Again, her grandfather is a vet. So she, I'm sure she grew up with understanding and having that sensibility since she was a child. And as she said, she's always had a just a gratitude for the service that these incredible men and women did, and are continuing to do for our country. So, and really around the world, you think about, the Invictus, men and women around the world, serving and sacrificing for their countries no matter what. And so it's just a huge honor to them. So I'm say all that to say, I'm really, really happy to see that Meghan, and then coming into and marrying a vet, you know what I mean? It just, it's not, again, it wasn't like a fish out of water situation. It's like, oh my gosh, what do vets do? And what do they like? She knew this. She knew, coming in, she may not, obviously, she hadn't, at least I don't know she had ever dated or whatever a vet, but she at least knew enough to know about what some of this would entail, being around veterans, and so for me, such a perfect fit with Harry being a vet and her being also just having a heart to service and to serve the veteran community. So I just think it's a win-win for both of them. So I'm going to put the link to the USO if you want to go. I put the support if you ever want to support them, or there's a part on their website where you could just send a message to soldiers, just a thank you or whatever, just an encouraging message to our servicemen and women around the world. I'm sure they'll appreciate it. So I will put the link to the USO there in our show notes. So definitely give it a link, check them out, and and check out again the articles that I just talked about. The link is going to be there, so you can go read it yourself and just I love Meghan's pictures. I just love the pictures of her there and her time there. So I just thought it was fantastic. So anyways, that's it. I was just like, I love just going back and seeing her work, and again dispelling some of the, oh, Meghan, what did she do before she was a royal? She has only become something, and she's only doing something with herself because she has a title. And it's just like, no, Meghan has been doing this way before. Her heart is to serve. Her heart is about giving back, serving, and really honoring men and women who serve around the world. And so, to dispel any of that nonsense that service is only done in the royal family. Yeah, right. As Meghan and Harry says, service is universal. So there. But anyways, thank you so much, guys, for watching this. If you want to support us, I'm actually going to put our little, I was going to pop this back up there. Yep. I don't know why this thing is lagging a bit. I don't know why. Maybe I do need to clean out my computer. I think that might be part of it. It's lagging, so I can't do the scrolly thing. But anyways, again, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to our channel. Please click the notification bell so that you know when we drop a video. And please like this video. Please share it with your friends. And, if you're interested in supporting the channel in any way, again, no obligation, but please, we would be most appreciative of that. There are a lot of ways you can support us. We do have merchandise. Yep, there's our merchandise popped up there. Please, the link will be in the show notes, so feel free to jump in there and shop until you drop. We do have art prints as well, done by my dad. Same link. You can just do some scrolling. You'll find it there. And also our merchandise. That's a way of supporting us. You can join our 2 Cents crew. That's another way of supporting us monthly. And I appreciate all of you who are our members right now. And actually, you know what? I'm going to do a list and put a list up there of all of you awesome men and women who have been supporting us in this way. I appreciate it so much. We appreciate you in every way. Thank you so much for your support. Again, there's no obligation, but any help is much appreciated. So thank you for that. Anyway, guys, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you all so much. I am going through your comments. I am backed up in comments, so I will be answering a lot of your comments later today as well. So I'm sorry if you haven't seen a response from me. It's coming. I am between teaching and this, it's a little much. But thank you guys for your patience. Thank you for your love. Thank you for just really being supportive of the channel. I am so grateful. Thank you. And I love you guys. Have a fantastic Sunday. And I will see you next time. Bye.